Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Christensen. Fascist! Hag. We've got Jordan Christensen on the pod.
Dang it, I got your quote stuck in my head. I was going to say, you've got a mustache. I know.
And we've got Cameron Mickle on the pod.
Why are you wearing a police officer's uniform? Because I am one?
Because I am one? Guys, today we are discussing Hot Fuzz. This movie came out.
Not to be confused with Hot Fudge.
Not to be confused with Hot Fudge, I mistakenly said. I misspoke earlier. Not that I forgot the title of the movie. I just said Hot Fudge. I know what Hot Fudge is. Guys, we're talking about Hot Fuzz. This movie came out in 2007, directed by Edgar Wright, written by Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg. And it stars Simon Pegg is Nicholas Angel, Nick Frost.
Oh, Sergeant Angle.
Sergeant Angle. Morning Angle. Nick Frost, Martin Freeman, Bill Nye, Robert Popper, Joe Cornish, Chris White, Eric Mason, Billy Whitelaw.
Bill
Peter
Nye needs
Wright,
more work, man.
and a few other people.
Also not to be confused with Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I know, right? His name is Bill Nye. Love it. Guys, this movie is a delight. Wait, now I'm blanking. Who is Bill Nye? Oh yeah, he's the very beginning. That's why I always forget him. I'm like, he's in this one too? He's in all
they're
of his
all
films.
in it, right? Like,
yeah. Martin Freeman's, except Martin Freeman doesn't show up. He shows up in Shaun of the Dead. Does he show up in... He's in this one too. Oh yeah, and of course he's at World's End. He's a big part of World's End, the World's End. Yeah, Martin Freeman, he's the new Hobbit guy, right? Yeah. But I was thinking, I was like, who is he? He's at the very beginning of this one too, which is so funny. Can I have a job here? No. I love him, dude. I love the police chief meeting. That's in every cop movie.
you want me to take it all the way up the stairs?
You want me to get the constable to come all the way down here. Sergeant? He's like literally right there. Hello, Nicholas. How's the hand? Still a bit stiff? Dude, every line of dialogue in this movie is repeated. Guys, we're going to be talking about a great Edgar Wright film. Hot Fuzz! What was it like watching this movie for the first time, rewatching it for the podcast? Jordan, you start us off. You showed us this movie, Jordan. You start us off.
Let's see.
Painstakingly combed through this movie and edited it for all of us to watch.
I'm trying to remember the first time. Jeez Louise.
We watched it nonstop. It was like one of the 3 movies I had on my video iPod.
Yeah, that's right.
This, Lord of the Rings and the Two Towers or whatever, and like one other movie.
I guess because I had seen
so
Shaun of the Dead, I highly anticipated this movie. I watched scenes from it and the trailers, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I love...
It did not disappoint.
Yeah.
It did not disappoint.
Yeah. I mean, I still remember being, disturbed by the scene where that spike lands on top of the guy's head. Like, that messed me up when I was in high school. I was just like, I'm so scarred. Now it's like, I'm so desensitized. It's like, oh, it's just another death.
Funny man gets stabbed by a spike.
Well, okay, did you not think that the genre seriously switched from like a slasher flick? 38 minutes in, I clocked it and checked it.
Oh, yeah.
It just all of a sudden...
the first freaking cloaked figure appears, dude.
Yeah, to decapitate those two...
At the actors.
Yeah.
Well, he killed William Shakespeare. What? Oh. Best cult in any movie I've ever seen. The greater good.
The greater...
Shut it! The greater good.
And she says that earlier, too.
Village.
For the greater good.
This is for the greater good. This is the best village, Nicholas. I'm sorry, but it is all of you that are going to have to come with me.
They're like hypnotizing
I'm
him.
afraid it's you who must come with us.
That's another quote. You hypnotized him. No, I used my notebook.
It's a detective or a police officer. Oh, we must use, what does he say? Police force. We must use other terms other than police force. Police force is too aggressive. You just don't switch off, Nicholas. Oh my gosh, that opening, Cate Blanchett is that actress, dude. What is she doing? You never see her face. You only see her eyes.
Well, that's one of the greatest jokes when he leans in. He's like, I'm leaving away for a while, Kate. Or Liz.
Janine, I'm going to the country for a while. Yeah, I'm on transfer. I'm going to the country for a while. I'm not Janine. Janine, I'm going away for a while.
I'm not Janine.
I'm not Janine.
Okay, we're going to quote this whole movie if we don't
Does Dave look like the kind of guy that I'd go out with? It's Steve. Hello there. Dude, this movie's so great, dude. Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz! Okay, Jordan, what was it like watching these? Yeah, it's like as long as you can remember, right?
Yeah,
you edited this entire movie. You combed through it, took out all the F words and some of the grisliest violence, and you edited it for me, for my sensitive palate, and I watched this movie religiously, nonstop.
Yeah, and I just, now that I've seen it again for this pod, I've rewatched it twice because I'm just like, this is an amazing movie. And
So good.
Rewatching it actually, now that you say that, editing it, so all the parts I edited, I remembered really well because I just seen it so many times.
Yeah, you like cut it a million times to try to cut it out.
This movie, oh my gosh, so funny.
I'd like a room, please. But you've always lived here.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Oh, I beg your pardon. I thought you were my husband.
This movie
So funny.
is hilarious. Like, oh gosh.
Janet Barker have decided to name their twins Ellie and Paige or whatever. Because at the beginning they like give birth to twins and they're all excited. And at the very end, right before they start the cult meeting, they announce what they named those two twins. And it's a different context because you're like, these are psychotic cult members. Before it was just a night watch council group, right? And then it's the fetching cult.
And I didn't even realize how many more people they killed at the end. I'm like, oh my gosh, those were the people we saw earlier in the scenes. The ones that did, like the guy that had all the guns. I was like, oh, wait a minute. They killed him too?
They killed him.
And they killed all those kids
They
at the
killed
pub?
the old detective, Sergeant Bopwell.
Yep.
Had a nervous
With a
breakdown.
great big bushy beard.
Great big bushy beard. He has one thing that you haven't got. What's that, sir? Dude, so great. Oh my gosh. And what's his name? I always
Do you
think
like
of him as
Chunky
Horace
Monkey?
Slughorn. Chunky Monkey. Let's just say we won't be out of Chunky Monkey for the next 3 months. Oh, dude. Nobody tells me nothing. This movie is more quotable. This movie is more quotable than
tells
Shaun of the
me
Dead, I
nothing.
think, honestly. Dude, Edgar Wright is at the height of his powers. I think this is one of his best films.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Oh,
Like,
easily.
It's right up
I
there.
thought Shaun of the Dead was better, but after watching it again, I'm like, I think Hot Fuzz is better.
I think it's more quotable and it's funnier, and there's awesome action set pieces.
Oh my
and
gosh.
And they're actually all
Why don't
jokes.
we just steal everything that's good about
Oh
this
yeah,
film?
Cameron, what's your favorite?
We-
Oh, Cameron, I'm
we haven't
sorry.
even know-
What was it like watching this film for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast, Cameron? Sorry, Cameron.
Well, I think the first time I watched this was, I think 3 or 4 years ago with Jordan.
Right after you watched Shaun of the Dead, back to back. Oh,
No, I don't remember.
sweet Edgar Wright chin music.
I just remember watching it and I really enjoyed it. It made it into my top 100 and it's still there. After the rewatch, I've rewatched it probably 3 or 4 times since then. It's a really good one. I like showing people, especially because it's like, I feel like mildish, but like, I mean, for some R's that are out there, like.
I was going to say, what part of the decapitating his head and then the killer landing on him?
I was showing it to people.
Being stabbed with garden shears.
I was showing it to people who
and-
watched The Boys unedited, so it was mild for them. And honestly,
Yeah.
it's a really fun movie to show them just because of Edgar Wright's humor and just his camera work. And so, honestly, I think it's a super rewatchable movie. But honestly, like the first watch has a special place in my heart for.
Oh,
Like,
you want to talk about rewatchable too? They're so fun to go back and watch all the hints. Like, you want to talk about hints that they drop for you about what's going on. Holy crap. I'm talking about callbacks. So yeah, we'll get into that. Love it, Cameron. Love hearing you talk about that. Well, let's get into 2 of your favorite things. Cameron, you start us off, man. We already started taking them rapid fire.
Yeah,
You go for it.
I think my favorite thing, especially on the first watch, was just the twist. Because I went in not watching the trailer or anything, and Jordan just told me
Yes.
he's like, it's
the
just
trailer doesn't give it away, just so you know, right?
Oh.
Jordan, because we watched the trailer a million times.
Well, no, I watched... Okay,
I
so...
still listen to that song, Souljacker by the Eels, from the trailer.
Okay, Ty, the first time, I actually forgot to mention, like, I actually fell asleep after he, after he gets stabbed by the cult, and and so the whole scene where he's in the trunk of the car, like,
You're right.
I fell asleep at that part. So right when he opened the trunk before I knew he was alive, like, I fell asleep. And so I thought that's how it ended. Like, it's just him getting killed by the cult. Like, I missed the
so
whole...
you, like, fell asleep and you missed the movie, or
Yeah, the
whatever
whole
that you fell
last
asleep
half an hour when he, like, goes back for revenge, and, like, I missed that. I mean, I just...
at. Ta-da!
Yeah, so I was like, man, this is a depressing, dark movie. Like, it made a huge turn.
But yeah, I just really enjoyed the twist and how
So good,
like
dude.
I thought I don't know, just like really defied my expectations, especially going into it. I was kind of like, I don't really know what I'm watching and like what's going on, because it kind of had like moments of like, is there like it's like a monster or something? Like I'm kind of
Dementor, dude.
Yeah, I'm
just
like-
running around murdering people.
I'm like kind of what's going on, and then the fact of like everyone, I'm like I mentioned this before, I'm very like paranoid and don't usually trust people, especially like in movies, and so I'm always like, anytime, like my theory is anytime someone's very like extremely nice, they're hiding something. Usually they're a serial killer, and so that's why when everyone in the town is like,
Creature.
when everyone's like the nicest people ever, I'm like, oh, they're a bunch of like psychopaths. I didn't know it was gonna be a cult where I was like, holy shiz.
Why do you think he's out covered his head? Because he's Fudge Ugly.
Fudge Ugly. Fudge Ugly. Oh, that's Danny and Pete's baby's brother's boy. And you didn't fail to mention this? Well, I couldn't see him with his hat down, could I?
Or he's like, his mother and his sister. It's like, what? Same person. That was messed up.
He lives up on top of the hill with his mother and sister. Are they as big as he is? Who? His mom and his sister. Same person. What the punch does that even mean? So funny.
And then
same person.
God, I'm going
So
into like
funny.
linking my first favorite thing with the second. It's like my second favorite thing is honestly just like kind of like Jordan talks about. The first half is kind of like I think it just the pacing is super good. Like it lulls a little bit, but I feel like it's kind of perfect because it's an intentional lull to where it's like the beginning it's like super fast paced because his life in the city is super fast paced.
The first time I watched it, it was a bit too jarring for me. Like I couldn't keep up with it. I was like, this is too fast.
No, I like it.
Well, I love it now, but when I first saw
the opener, like the beginning.
Yeah, the whole intro, like it just happened so quick. I'm like,
It literally feels like you're watching. It reminds me of The Departed. like for sure, it's like the whole scene where like DiCaprio goes from here to being undercover. Like it's just like holy crap.
Yeah, a lot to
Gets
process.
stabbed by old Saint Nick.
But yeah, I think that's what I just think the pacing of the film is super sick because then you see like it's super fast paced in his life in the city, and then it transitions to his life in like the small town.
Oh, and it does slow down.
It's
Interesting.
like it's super slow and just it's kind of like
slow.
showing his life is like, oh, it's super slow, not a lot's going on, and so it kind of almost lulls you to sleep as a viewer. Like, oh, there's nothing to worry about. It's such like a slow, boring town, and that's why you're kind of like, oh, whatever. And then as soon as he gets stabbed, you're like, oh, snap, and then. Like when he comes back, that is one of the most satisfying like revenge, like comedic
totally
revenge
nailing
things
that
ever.
old woman in the face with his feet.
Yeah, like there's just so many awesome like deaths and like revenge kills like in the second half.
Well, did
of the
he
movie.
even
That
kill
was so
anybody?
awesome.
I was thinking about that, Ty. I don't think he killed anybody. He just came back and
That last guy in the cemetery, he definitely murdered.
No, he lands on the spike.
lands on the spike and he lives.
He lives.
He
You see
lives?
him getting
Yeah.
carried away. He's like, oh.
Yeah, remember he's like, it's like, I want some ice cream. There's plenty
And the
of
guy
ice cream down at
drives
the
to-
station.
I feel like I should say something clever. You don't need to say anything at all. He drives into a tree, Cameron. Yeah, they all survive. At the very end, there's lots of paperwork to do. Remember?
Oh, the one guy that does die is the dude that shot his partner, and then the bomb exploded and blew him to smithereens. I don't think you could survive
Yes,
that.
I don't know if he survived that. Yeah, in the precinct. Yep.
He's in 15,000 pieces. I don't think so.
He gets his leg trapped under the sea mine.
See mine.
It doesn't look live.
Ding.
Kicks it. Why would you kick it? Why?
That was a great running gag when like he couldn't understand him, so he asked the other cop, and the other cop
the other
couldn't-
guy to interpret. It's freaking Argus Filch from Harry Potter. I'll never forget
Yeah.
that. I don't know. He's like, what did he say? He's like, he's like, right, what did he say? He says a hedge is a hedge. I still can't even understand Nick Frost in that scene when he rehearses that whole line. Like, this is a hedge is a hedge. You only trimmed it because it was blocking his view. What's Ramona complaining about? Love that. So funny.
I heard there are people that talk like that though.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Dad spent 2 years in London. He's like, yeah, it's another language, dude. Try to listen to them when they talk like slang and they talk like.
Well,
I don't know,
even
yeah,
when I
like,
heard the word,
I can't even understand our Uncle Tony. Bless his heart. I love him. What is he, Scottish or is he?
He's from
English?
England, yeah.
He's from England. Oh gosh, I hope I didn't offend him by saying that. But yeah, I can hardly understand him half the time, dude. Tony's got such a cool accent. I'm jealous of his accent, but sometimes I'm like, what did you just say? Like, it's like,
You lost me for a sec, yeah.
yeah. Sorry. Could you say that again? I don't speak Spanish.
well, and some of the things that slur guy says, I'm like, it makes me laugh because
he just says like he says the most terrible things, dude.
yeah.
And she does too. She always makes these jokes, which was really funny. And she's like, nothing like a midnight. It's so weird. Like
Dude, she
the
reminds me of
precinct.
Tatiana so much. Like not in the
Yeah.
humor, but like
Yeah.
just she's just
Quirky.
quirky. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. I love. Oh, they send someone from the city to come here and tell us how to do my job. Our job.
Our jobs.
Our jobs. Oh my gosh, that guy is one of my favorites, dude. At the very end.
Professor Slughorn.
Oh yeah, Slughorn. No, but it's actually the guy with glasses. Where there's a great shot where he's sitting there and you introduce his character, and it has like all these words around him. It's like lazy, dull, like all these words that are all pointing to his head, and they're branched out from his head. But there's actually a word like teamwork or something like that in the middle of it. But you only see his head, and you have all these like negative words around him that explain his character. I thought that was such a great visual way of introducing a character. And he's like, oh, what? Like he's like complete airhead, like so dumb. Yeah, because we all sell apples around here, don't we?
Your mom sells
Your
apples.
dad sells apples and raspberries. And raspberries. Oh my gosh, I punching love
The
this.
salesman is so like funny. I love how like creepy yet like robotic he is.
The salesman?
He's just always like, take me away. I'm a criminal because of my
I'm a
prices.
slasher, and I must be stopped.
Oh, freaking Martin Blower? No, what's
Because
his
his
name?
prices are criminal.
The Skinner.
I'm a slasher of
Simon
prices.
Skinner. I'm a slasher. Lock me up. Prices. Dude, yeah, Skinner. Dude, Simon Skinner. He's great.
She'll be in bits tomorrow.
He's great, dude. He's great.
Sure, if we bashed your
Simon
brain in, all sorts of secrets would come tumbling out.
Skinner. Bashed your head in. May their heads be stripped from their shoulders for such disloyalty. So great, dude.
I know.
He says so many, like, he like threatens to murder him all the time. Then he drives by the criminal site, or whatever. It's like, oh, sorry to hear what happened. He's like, how do you know that it's the two victims? Word travels fast around this town, or whatever. You're like, guilty, 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 guilty. It's definitely him. I love that. That's another great moment where he goes in, like a Scooby-Doo mystery. He has all the evidence,
Yep,
and they land
that's
it
what
at
it
his
reminded
feet,
me of,
and he gets
totally.
away from a scar that he obtained this very evening. This very evening. He pulls up his pant legs. Oh, it's so good, dude. And he gets away with it. What were the other two favorite things, Jordan? What were your two favorite things?
Oh, shoot. I mean, obviously the quotes, goodness gracious. Like, I could seriously do this entire podcast and just quote it, and that's it.
Yeah,
Because,
this is probably one of the most quotable movies that Edgar Wright's ever done. Like,
well,
every line of dialogue.
It's pretty close
what
to
did
Scott
you call
Pilgrim.
it, Cameron? Yeah, it is close to Scott Pilgrim. Because Scott Pilgrim has like, but it's almost like for a younger audience. Like this one works for like an older audience, I feel like, you know? Like Scott Pilgrim, like there's some jokes that are more visual. This one, like the lines they're saying are really funny and so quotable. Like, I don't know. So, Cameron, what did you call it? You called it like a diagram, or what did you call it? Like where everything is referenced twice?
Oh,
What did you
freak,
call
yeah.
it? I don't even know if it's right, or if it's the right
I'm
word,
pretty
but
sure it's right what I said. But I don't
it's a
remember.
literary writing style where
Yeah,
you have
it's
like you have a callback.
I said the intelligent word earlier, but now I can't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, but yeah, basically every line of dialogue is repeated and like it means something else the second time. So I love that about this movie. It's one of my favorite things about this movie is that every line of dialogue is actually significant. So Cameron, you mentioned the lull. If you rewatch this movie, it's so much more exciting because you're like, oh,
That's
like
what I'm pretty sure it's a chiasmus. I couldn't find it, but I'm pretty sure it's a
chiasmus.
chiasmus.
Okay, yeah. So every line is like repeated down this step, and then you repeat it back, and it all repeats itself, and it means something different in a different context, and everything is a callback. Holy crap!
Yep. Oh my gosh, I'm so smart.
Chiasmus. Cameron, you were
Harvard, where's my scholarship? It's a rhetorical or literary figure in which words, grammatical
like, I
constructions, or
remembered something.
concepts are repeated in reverse order in the same modified form.
Love it, Cameron. Love it.
Actually, I used a big word the other day, and I actually used it in the right context, but I was
The
so
duality?
unconfident. Yeah.
We don't want to exacerbate things. What does that mean? It means make things worse. Didn't quote that from Shaun of the Dead.
We forgot that one. That was right.
And then he says it at the end. He's like, we don't want to exacerbate things. He says it like, he finally uses the word. I love it.
We just sat through 3 hours of so-called acting, and that kiss was the only convincing moment in it. All right, calm down, Knight and Sylvie, or whatever they call him.
I love it, dude. I still love that. Killed William Shakespeare. What? Oh. Well, she did have an annoying laugh. Annoying.
And
This is the best movie
he
called
called
I've
her
ever seen.
58 when she's actually 53. Like, and you killed him for that?
I know, dude. Riddled with tabloid journalism and riddled with errors and spelling mistakes. It's like, what? You killed the guy? You killed Tim Messenger or whatever because you didn't like... Oh, so funny. What's so amazing is that all their names are super rememberable. And maybe it's because they use, like, Tim Messenger as, like, the guy that writes columns. But, like,
Yeah, P.I. Staker. Piss taker.
Piss taker, come on. And then R.N. Errands. Oh, should we just start with the whole catalog of the whole town? Start with R.N.A. Errands, should we? And at the very end, what's your name, child? R.N. Errands. He's actually a kid that exists. Why is that so funny?
The
dude?
hardest thing for me to follow every time, and I try so hard to pay attention, but there's just so many names she's throwing out when she's like saying all the lady at the flower shop, and she's like, after every name, she's like, God rest him.
Yeah.
And
Yes. I love that.
I can never
scene.
follow that story.
Lower, God rest him. I was going. Yeah. Well, she just talks about how the guy with the rich house was saying that the land is super valuable, and she wanted to get away, and they couldn't have her leaving because then you're going to bring in all these other town folk and ruin what they have there. So they couldn't let that secret get out, so they murdered her for that. Like, it's so crazy. They murdered a guy being a living statue because he was loitering. He's got to be dealt with, Frank.
That explosion of that house is insane.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Literally explodes and fills up the whole camera screen. I love that they watch Point Break and Bad Boys too.
Jugglers.
Crusty jugglers. Before you could say gypsy scum, we were knee deep in dog muck and crusty jugglers.
Crusty jugglers.
Dude, I love it, dude. So funny, dude. His wife died trying to create the best village, and she's like, she died because they failed to have the best village ever or whatever. I can't remember. It's so funny.
I know. I was thinking about that. I'm like, oh, this is
so
great.
funny.
This is great.
It's so great. I mean, I don't know about that. When he appears and he's the police chief and he's the head of the cult. It's so good, dude. It's such a great reveal.
I don't know. Which one do you think I'd like more? No, I mean, which one do you want to watch first? You are pulling my leg, right?
It's about to go off. It's the play button, dude.
Well, just that trailer, Ty. In the trailer, what I love so much is when he opens it up and he's like, by the power of Grayskull. They put that in the trailer and it says, from the man who watched too many movies. Like, that was when I knew, this is my kind of director. This is my kind of a movie.
Yes, that was our director. Dude, I love that trailer. I love watching it. That was another great one. That Eel Souljacker song, I totally still listen to it these days. And watching the movie when he just, like, kicks the lady in the face in the trailer, it looks so off. But he doesn't give it away. The trailer, you didn't see who he was kicking. They cut all the action, so you know there's going to be action in the movie. But at the end, it's all kept a secret, Cameron. So, to Edgar Wright's credit, like, he did a really good job at keeping it secret. Although that was the trailer I saw. I wonder if that was a teaser. But either way, it's a great trailer. You should check out the trailer for Hot Fuzz. It's super funny.
I think I got the first copy off of LimeWire.
Oh
because Mom wouldn't let us watch rated R, so I had to hide it from them. I feel so bad.
And then you edited that whole movie for me. I watched the first time.
I feel so bad to admit to that because I love Edgar Wright and I support him now and I've owned all his movies on digitally.
We didn't have enough movies. Dude, I think he'd be thrilled, man. It's not like he needs our money. He's probably like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, when you were a kid, you're like, my mom didn't want me to watch you, dude, and I freaking loved you, man. And I had to hide, my relationship to you away from my mom.
I know. Well, it's like Edgar Wright. He was telling me
an unhealthy relageorge
It does.
Edgar Wright was saying in an interview too is like he couldn't get access a long time ago from to watch like George A. Romero's movies, the zombie movies, because he was too young to watch them. But then he would read things in like Fangoria and just like in these magazines about those zombie movies instead, and he would just imagine what they would be like. That was me going to the video store, just looking at the video covers. Like I would just imagine what the movie was about. And me and Tyler, we would watch those when Apple used to have that like scroll through the trailers. Like now it's you just gonna get them on YouTube, but before
you'd go through the Apple trailers.
Yeah, Apple trailers, and we would just watch endless trailers.
Watch all of the trailers and just imagine what the movies were like, dude. Memorize all the trailers too. We were so excited.
You'd watch them over and over again, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Good times, dude. Good times.
Now I have to be careful watching trailers because I'm like, it spoils too much, and sometimes if I get excited about it, I watch it like 10,000 times, and I'm like, then it ruins it for me.
I know. And then I'm like looking for those things. So now I try to just like get a feel. I try not to look too closely. Kind of just like look past it. I know that sounds super weird, but I totally do that now. I just look past what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, getting a general feel of this movie. And I do want to see it, like Batman. Like I don't look too close to be like, oh, who is that? Who's exploding? What character is that? I'm just like, no.
I have. I've watched that trailer so many times.
I bet you have. It was like the time I told you like Kylo Ren's mask will come off, remember? Because you see his hair. And I was like, we're going to find out who Kylo Ren is. And I didn't look up any spoilers. I didn't know who the actor playing him was. So it was a real pleasant surprise. It's the first time I'd ever seen Adam Driver in anything. So I liked the Kylo Ren reveal.
I know. It's hard not to get excited about these movies.
I really like Adam Driver.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Like, dude. I've already watched the Last Night in Soho trailer like a billion times. Like, gosh dang.
I've only seen it once. I won't watch it again.
I've only watched it once, and I'm like, it looks freaking good.
I watched it so many times. I can't help it.
Yeah, I don't want to be reminded of what's in it. I really don't. But like Batman is so great that I don't mind watching that over and over again. But yeah, I don't want to watch Soho again. I don't want to. I'll just wait till it comes out and I'll see it. So guys, Edgar Wright, this is so fun. I think this movie is so great. It's a parody of like buddy cop films, and it has all the motifs and it even has cliches that they address and they make fun of. Like, it's so great. Like, when he goes to the country, Nick Frost's character is asking Simon Pegg all these questions. He's like, have you jumped through the air while firing a gun? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, have you ever fired 2 guns while jumping in the air? It's like, no. Have you ever fired a gun in a high police pursuit? And he's like, no. It's like, have you been in a high chase pursuit? And he's like, yes. I love all the questions he's asking. He's like, he
is it true that there's
life.
a place in a man, if you shoot him in the head, it'll blow up? So good.
Hi. Why don't you put the teacher in handcuffs? I don't think that sends out the right message. Okay, why don't you give your nightstick to the little girl? No. Why don't you take your hat and stick and wave it about? I don't think so. Right to you, home. I love it, dude. Put the teacher in handcuffs. What? Dude, talk about a journalist, dude. Freaking Tim Messenger, dude. So funny. I love it.
He's so good at writing characters and being funny.
Mr. Skinner, manager's office.
Mr. Skinner.
Mr. Skinner. So funny. There's so many characters in this movie. Everyone's a character. Somehow he made it, like the doctor, hopefully we won't see too much of each other. And at the end when they shoot him, you're a doctor, because they shoot him when they shoot for the carnival game. Deal with it. You're a doctor. He's a doctor. He'll be fine. He'll deal with it. And then at the end they shoot him in the leg. You're a doctor. Deal with it. So good, dude. When he rolls into town and everyone's staring at him and he's just like has a toothpick, spits it out.
Get a look at his horse.
They all pull out these guns from their trench coats. It's so ridiculous. It's so good, dude. The lady on a bicycle firing 2 pistols at Kimbo, dude. And then he opens the car door, she flips over it. So funny, dude. And the freaking pub owners, dude, I love it, dude. They're serving underage kids. This movie is so good, dude. I could talk about every single instance.
Yeah, I love it. He's like, how old are you? 21? When was your birthday?
1956. You're 63. Yeah. Out.
And then he asked that one kid.
When's your birthday? 22nd of February. What year? Every year. Out.
The last kid, he's like,
another cranberry juice. Love it, dude. We all figure it's part of the greater good. It's better that they be in here than they're out there.
Ty, when you saw the cranberry juice, did it make you think of Departed? What did you and your
another thing that reminds me of cranberry juice? Yeah. What are you on your?
He just smashes it on his face. Do you know who that was? And then he talks, and then when he talks back to him, then fetching Jack Nicholson beats the shiz out of that guy again.
Did I tell you I watched that with Tatiana and she loved it? Oh, so good.
That's hilarious, dude.
All I can think of is freaking because that thing comes up way too much time. Matt Damon saying that. All right, you freaking that Boston accent.
All right, give back my identity, you two-faced.
Or Mark Wahlberg too. But I think of the other guys too when I see that role because there's no difference.
I love it. It's like, how's your mom? She's great. How's she doing? She's great. Busy or whatever. Or he's like, what have you been up to? He's like, busy. He's like, how's your mom? She's great. Busy.
Oh, dude, we have to do Departed sometime soon.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
I'm in the mood to watch that again.
I want to do just a month of Martin Scorsese, dude. I just rewatched Taxi Driver. Dude, he is a master.
I might need to watch that again, but I would say I'd much rather watch Raging Bull again.
All of them, Ty. I mean, even After Hours was fun. Like, goodness gracious.
After Hours was fun. I love seeing Catherine O'Hara. I love seeing her. After watching Creek, she's like one of my favorites.
And you haven't even seen Cape Fear yet, which is one of my favorite Martin Scorsese films.
I do need to see it, but I want to see the original first. I don't want to see Martin Scorsese's first.
I watched part of it. It was boring.
Well, see, that's the problem. I like good storytelling, and I'm worried that I'm sure it'll be good, but I want to see the original. I really do. I still have not seen The Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington, even though I really want to see it because I love the original Manchurian.
I tried watching both of them. They're both boring.
The first Manchurian Candidate is a fetching good movie. You're an idiot.
You told me it was boring. You even said so.
I said the beginning is slow. That's what I said. Is he slow? It's just slow. It's a slow. Back to Edgar Wright. I was quoting Kevin Spacey and Baby Driver. But sorry, Kevin Spacey is an evil man. How dare I quote him?
Was he retarded? Or slow?
Was he retarded? Was he slow? Was he slow?
Slow.
Guys, this movie is
retarded. Being
so
slow.
Good.
Was he slow?
Was he slow?
Slow.
I love how many quotes are callbacks. Like when he walks into the town. Oh, look at him! Check out his. or whatever. And then when they're in the shop, and then she's like, "And he like catching them swans." Then it's actually just the one swan, actually.
And then
Later, and he like
then.
catching them killers. Then, and then he's like, "It's just the one killer, actually." And that's when he starts piecing it together that it's multiple people. Goes to the police chief and tells him, and then he sends the freaking Yarp guy to his house to kill him, dude.
Yarp.
Yarp.
Is he gonna get up?
Is he gonna get up again? Narp. Good. I love that, dude.
Or when he's holding
The monkey.
The monkey. Cameron, did you know that's the
cut
Hound from
Yeah. Wait, what?
Game of
Oh my
Thrones.
gosh, it so is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, the giant is a character.
Yarp. That guy.
That's hilarious.
He is like the cruelest and just like.
Dude, but he's awesome. I love him in Game of
So
Thrones.
great. I love it.
Yarp.
Old woman considered frightful or ugly. It's 12 down. Or he calls her, he's like, yeah, she's like, fascist, I beg your pardon. He's like, system of government that's controlled top down.
It's
And he's
actually
like,
fascism.
It's fascism. Fascism, bless you. And he's like, oh, don't mention it. Hag, I beg your pardon. It's like, old woman considered frightful or ugly.
Yeah.
It's 12 down. Oh, bless you.
It's how he says it
That's
to her,
so
too.
great.
It's
Hag, I beg your pardon.
I beg your pardon.
Old women considered frightful or ugly. It's 12 down. Bless you. Oh, I love it, dude. It's so funny. Their whole relationship. Morning, Sergeant. Morning, Sergeant.
Can I get an autograph? And then she's like, for the breakfast.
breakfast?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, of course. Dude, I love that, too. He's like, are you sure you want to process this whole lot? My pen's running out. No problem. I brought my own. I love that. He's filling out paperwork like all intense and dramatically. I love that. That's Edgar Wright, dude. Like total. This movie is totally for the
I'm gonna take this
policeman, dude.
potato chip and eat it. That's what it makes me think of.
Yeah, it's so great, dude. I love it. And then the kid's wearing the traffic cone when he takes his when he takes his photo, takes off the traffic cone, taking his mugshot.
And after watching, like, he's like, what do you think of that? And he's like, well, you know, there would have been a considerable amount of paperwork after Bad Boys 2.
Yeah, not to mention loads of paperwork. I love it, dude. It's so great. I love when he's firing his gun. And when he sees his dad, I love that too at the very end. No, fires his gun up into the air because he can't kill his dad. I love it.
Well, in Simon Pegg's and
Break.
Nick, their relationship is so good.
Oh,
their
it's
bromance
unbelievable. And
is so
that's
good.
what my favorite part in this movie. They are the closest they are in this movie because it's
Yeah.
interesting to see. I like when Nick Frost's character likes Simon Pegg more because in the other two movies, Shaun of the Dead, it's Ed. Like he's not
They
as likable,
detest
and
each
he's
other.
not drawn to Simon. He's kind of a leech, and then in At World's End, he's like moved on from Simon Pegg. So I like this movie best because it's most believable. Like this cute, chubby little country boy cop wants to be this like awesome agent. It just works so much better. Like it's so believable,
Yeah, I've been in a car chase before.
and it's clearly the role that they were meant to play.
Yeah,
together.
their
Like, they did
dynamic is so good.
They are such a good buddy cop. I love that he can't relax and he can't, slow down and he's like
The perfect partner
he
to help him
envies his
slow
life.
down.
Yeah, he's the perfect partner. Yeah, teaches him how to relax, watch good movies, and it's so good. I love it. High time you realize that not everyone's a murderer and psychopath. High time you realize that you and your monkey.
Did he mean me? Or
Did
that?
you mean me all that? It's got the cuddly monkey from the carnival game, dude. So funny. Oh my gosh, I love it. Love it. All the characters, all murderers. They're crazy. The whole town is crazy. I love the Shakespearean play too. Like what's his name?
Poison!
I'll kiss thy lips.
Bang!
Love me, save as you love me. He's like,
It just wakes up. Whoa.
he wakes. It's like, what the frick? So funny.
Ty, do you
Oh my
remember?
God.
So one time, like you were so mad at me, like you did the jog on, and you did that
Oh,
to
yeah.
me, dude. Oh man, it was about as close to flipping me off as you could get. I was mad because you were upset. I like made you mad because we made each other mad growing up because we were brothers
yeah.
and we fought a lot. But you did that to me, and I was about to lose it because we just finished watching Hot Fuzz. And you knew it essentially meant up yours, and I was livid.
Jog on. So good, dude. I love that
That's
too.
funny
when
that
he
we don't
finally
do that in
is-
America. Like, just like,
Oh, see, those were the other two jokes. See, I love the up yours thing, and then I love the one where in Shaun of the Dead, I forgot to mention, he puts the gun to his head and blows a bullet through his brain, and
Yeah.
it shows him splattering his brain on the other side. I love that. It makes me laugh every time.
me too.
Those are actions I do all the time.
Oh,
dude.
me too. I love doing that.
Jog on. Feel free to spool through. Simon Skinner's pictures, like, in the background. It's literally the same face, same smile, same outfit. It's so funny. Dude, great characters. This movie's so dang quotable. Gosh dang, I just love talking about this movie.
So good.
And all the weapons, like, I love that. They find all the weapons from that guy, then he comes in, arms himself. He's like a one-man militia at the end. So great. Everything has a callback, and everything has consequences. It's so good. The swear box. All proceeds go to the church. Leslie Tillett was fetching murdered. They keep slamming quarters in the church roof box.
Thank
or whatever.
you.
Roof repairs. Thank you, Danny. He's slamming quarters in. I love it. Nobody was saying it was murder. I love that. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. The murders in this are pretty gruesome too. I will say it does go part horror movie
it's like
when this
slasher
Dementor
flick.
appears. Yeah, it's like literally like ends. You don't see the carnage with the first two. Oh yeah, no, they stab him. I can't remember.
Yeah, you see their heads go flying through the air.
Oh yeah, with the or well, not with the
decapitates
shears,
him.
but yeah, he decapitates him. And
With
then the one
axe.
house blows up. Even though you see him like hit him on the head, drag him through the house.
That was a great cut, by the way, when he hits him on the head and then you see him
and
hit
then
the couch.
Simon Pegg sits down. Yes,
Great
it's
cut.
Awesome, dude. He cuts between the moment of tension where your heroes are indisposed or doing something else, and then there's something else going on, and he cuts between the two scenes really, really well. That's just Edgar Wright really good at.
Juxtapositions are amazing of just like showing the difference.
Yeah. Or he'll like have like two glasses on a table. He does this at World's End where you have glasses on a table, and then all of a sudden they're full and they're in a different place.
Save that for World's End because that's all we have to say about it, okay?
That's all we have to say. Edgar Wright, we're coming for you, man. We're going to review all your movies, but we like Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead much more than at World's End, or the World's End. So, but that being said,
thoughts.
guys, I think this is a great buddy cop film.
Amazing.
It pays homage to the other ones.
And
it's
like
so quotable.
cult film. It's fun.
Yeah, it switches genres. Like, it goes from action flick to horror back to
Yeah.
action.
Yeah. And then at the end, yeah, it is interesting. And it does a really good job because even though it feels like there are different parts of the movie, it makes it really rewatchable because it's so fun to rewatch it knowing the context. You're like, oh my gosh, everything they're saying. Like, there's a lot of things out in the open. Like that line where he's like, they got to be dealt with, Frank. And he's like, yeah, all in good time. He's like, chill, dude. Like, this guy's a psycho. He's like, loitering. Those children's like,
We like to make
graffiti.
them think they run the
They gotta be
place.
dealt with, Frank.
Yeah, they
Yep.
do.
It's really
I just,
well done.
I just love this. It reminds me of Sunshine, where it's like it starts out as like a sci-fi, and then it switches to horror at the last ending
And
of
people
it.
can't handle it. And I'm like, what's wrong with genre bending?
Yeah.
It's called defying your expectations. They're like, oh, well, I didn't see it coming. It's like,
Well, sometimes it's
Isn't
probably
that a
because
good
it's
movie?
not always done very
and it
well.
can be pretty jarring sometimes. I still like the movie Sunshine too, even though, I know there's parts of it that don't work, but I still think it's a great movie.
I love that.
Just go off of how you feel. Do you feel good? I still feel like it's one of those movies that like internet loves to hate. Like Spider-Man 3 is not the worst movie of all time. Is it cheesy?
Yeah.
Sure. It's a comic book movie, and it's Sam Raimi. of
Oh,
all
I
people.
love Sam Raimi. I would rather take
He's
that.
so
I'd rather
good.
take 3 of those than.
Oh yeah, I would watch Spider-Man 3 over Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
What was the
again.
one with Jake Gyllenhaal? Yeah, I'm sorry. I
Jake
like
Gyllenhaal? No, Jake Gyllenhaal is great. I
No.
love that one with Tom Holland.
Oh, you like
those
that
are
one?
great. I like those. I don't like.
you're talking about
Andrew
Amazing Spider-Man.
Garfield.
Great.
Yeah, I don't
great
like
is
Andrew
a strong
Garfield.
word. I wouldn't use that.
Compared to
What? Which one?
Well, it's just because they tried to like do the bait and switch of, oh, this is not Sinestro. This is
Mysterio?
Mysterio. He's a
Yeah.
good guy, and I'm like, he's obviously a bad guy. And then they're like, he's bad, and I'm like, he's
That's
one of the.
good that it got you, Cameron. I'll be honest. It still got me just because I didn't know. in
No, I'm
what
saying it didn't
capacity.
get me. I'm like, he's one of the Sinister Six. He's one of Spider-Man's like biggest
it
villains.
got me. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I know it got me just because again the trailer. Good on them. They literally cut the trailer to look like they were going to fight together. I figured they'd have a falling out, but I didn't know it was like, oh, this is all staged. I'm just saying it got me because, dude, did you watch Homecoming? That was the first one, right?
Yes.
With Vulture.
You're asking
that
Cameron.
was-
He's better
the
than he was
Marvel
better
nut.
than.
That was
What?
freaking amazing though. Michael Keaton showing up as Vulture. That was such a great reveal.
Yeah, well, the scene
at
in
end
the
when he's
in the
freaking
car.
her dad.
Yeah, and he's like,
Loved that scene,
he
dude.
whips out the gun. And
Dude, when he's freaking there at the house, dude, that's just such a good scene where he just opens the door and he's just like, oh shit, and just like, and it's so great because it's so relatable. Like, who didn't go pick up their high school date, and like have so much trepidation about the father, I just it's
Oh,
so
Ty
well
didn't.
done.
Ty loves his in-laws.
I didn't see it coming, dude. No, I love my father-in-law. Yeah, no, but I would say that this movie. The action holds up well, the humor holds up well, which is really impressive. Like the action set
Especially
pieces,
even
like
on a
the
rewatch,
gunfights.
which is
yeah, I
impressive.
actually like
Yeah.
it more.
The action is really cool. Like the gunfights they have are freaking cool. They're intense. The stakes are raised. He thinks he gets shot, but it's just tomato juice. They're at their supermarket. They think they get shot or whatever. I love it. It's okay, man. It's just tomato paste or whatever it was. I love it. It's so funny. So good.
Do we recommend it? Yes.
Big yes.
Highly recommend this movie, guys.
This one is definitely my favorite.
A little gratuitous on the violence, but besides that, it's honestly like awesome.
Gratuitous with the violence? What are you talking about? When he like falls on a miniature castle
and also when
spike?
the castle spike falls on the guy's head and just
No, but see, isn't that fitting? I actually thought about that. It's kind of fitting that he got spiked in the jaw because he might have been the one to move this church spire that killed Messenger.
Oh, he was, because they announced, they even said, they're like, Skinner, come and get your award, and he's like, he's in the loo.
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
And that was more reason why he thought it was Skinner, but then he had enough of an alibi with the other things because it wasn't Skinner that fell and hit the glass when he was being chased by Simon Pegg at the very end.
Well, yeah, he wasn't, he was, and they needed an alibi for him.
Yeah, well, and he also was multiple people because they kept running and they were like new wind, and they were all pretending to be one thing, right? One person. But they were all cloaked figures. It was so great, dude. Oh, man. So good. So good. My goodness, guys. The skeletons falling. I'm just saying, when he fell through that room, though, and there's all the skeletons around the room, that is terrifying. So scary. And you hear all the echoing, the crusty beard, or the big bushy beard, and all the living statue. He's like still smiling. He's laying there with his hands up, like, he's like scared. He has like a scared face, like he's been petrified. From Harry Potter, the basilisk snake, because he's like, oh, still died being a statue. The living statue, dude. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Oh, it's so funny, dude.
Cameron, what have you seen lately, and what are you looking forward to?
I haven't watched too much lately. Just watched
I always love when you started off saying that, and then you have like a list of like 30 movies.
Yeah, I know, dude.
It's not very many. It's just 10 movies.
I rewatched a bunch this week. I'm trying to remember all of them. Oh, I watched the first episode of Game of Thrones, starting to show Drew, and then I watched The Terminal with Tom Hanks, which is actually pretty clever. It's a fun movie. It's a crazy because it's based off of like very loosely based off of a story about a guy who like his country or whatever became like destroyed or was no longer recognized as a country while he was on his airplane to the United States. So as soon as he gets to the United States, his visa and passport is invalid because it was given by a country that's no longer recognized by the world. And so the guy's just stuck in the terminal for like 10 plus months in real life. It's ridiculous. They kind of based it off of that and just kind of showed his life. It's crazy, but really good.
I just remember like he's shaving in the bathroom and the guy's like, sometimes I feel like I live here. And then Tom Hanks like stops shaving and just stares at him. Like that was in the trailer, and I remember thinking like, oh, it's going to be a funny movie. And then like I remember everyone saying like it wasn't funny, and I didn't see it. Like, isn't that weird? Like, because everyone was like, oh, it's going to be like this funny Tom Hanks movie. And they're like, oh, it wasn't that funny. And then like that was the only thing I heard about it. And I'm like, I guess I'll never see that movie now. It's like, maybe it's not just supposed to be funny. Maybe there's other things to like about it. So did you like it, Cameron? Do you think you would enjoy it?
It's definitely not like a typical Tom Hanks, but I've seen Tom Hanks in so many different roles.
Well, Steven Spielberg directed it.
Yeah, and like that's why that's why like I wasn't that surprised because I mean I didn't see him in Sully. In Sully, he's very like composed, kind of like chill guy, but it was a masterpiece.
Still have not seen Sully, but that's Clint Eastwood, isn't it?
Yes, it's amazing.
Or is that
it's Clint Eastwood.
It's Eastwood, right?
Yeah, it's Eastwood.
Yeah,
but
I do want to see it. I do like Tom.
Did you
Hanks
watch
and
Richard
Eastwood teaming
Jewell?
up.
That's another great.
I did
Clint
see
Eastwood.
Jewel.
Okay.
Yes, that was a good one. Clint Eastwood, dude. Clint Eastwood's coming out with another one, dude. It's like it looks like a western again. I'm excited, and it stars Clint Eastwood. So I'm like,
I'm trying to remember what else I watched.
Back. I can't remember what they called it. It was like Forgotten or I can't remember what it was called, but it looks good. I'm like, attaboy, Clint Eastwood. Keep making those good conservative movies.
I watched Death by Murder. I finally was able to recommend it to Cassie because I'm like, I never get movies to recommend to Cassie. It's PG.
There you go.
It's an old classic. Very funny.
You know what?
What is she doing? She's screaming.
Cass, if you like good recommendations, watch Dial M for Murder, Alfred Hitchcock. That's another great movie. It's very akin to Wait Until Dark.
Did you like that one? I didn't really care for that one. I fell asleep.
Dial M for Murder? You should watch it again, Jordan. It's great.
Oh yeah, I guess what I rewatched.
It's definitely more of a playwright, which makes sense because I think it was originally a play. But
and you're not talking about M. You're talking about Dial M for Murder, right?
Yeah, I'm not talking. I don't know what M is.
Okay, it's another classic.
Okay,
Dial in for Murder.
I also
Alphabet
I also rewatched Suicide Squad. I showed Drew because he really
I
wanted to watch
rewatched
it.
Suicide Squad
It
again
was
too.
so
Sorry,
fun.
So funny.
The Suicide
I've
Squad.
seen it twice
we rewatched
already.
The Suicide Squad. Yes.
Yeah, so good.
So funny.
The movie's funny, and it held up on rewatch. It was really funny.
Nom,
Because
nom.
of my father's burdens.
Drew loved the
Sorry, that's not funny.
He loved King Shark and the polka dot man.
Yeah, right.
Dumb friend.
They're the two best people in the movie.
More dumb.
Oh, who?
The polka dot man and Shark.
Bad.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Polka
fix
Dot
the
Man.
world.
I still think John Cena takes the movie for me. I think he's by far.
Did you see the end credits, Ty? You catch that they revive him?
What?
Yeah, they're doing surgery
The Weasel
on him.
survives.
No.
Yeah,
It's after
the credits. Yeah.
Peacemaker. They're doing surgery on Peacemaker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
They're bringing him back. I'm so happy.
I kind of wish they didn't though, not revive him, but show an end credit because I actually thought the Weasel that was the joke. It's like you know how at the end of every Marvel movie there's like an end credit scene
and
that's
it
super
says,
significant,
"He
and it's
will
just
be
like
back."
the ugly Weasel that survived, and he just like goes off in the. I'm like perfect. Like I thought that was funny, making fun of, and now you guys are telling me that there actually was another end credit scene where they brought back Peacemaker. I mean, yes, John Cena's role in this movie was unbelievably
Well,
good.
the lady
He was so
bringing
good.
No
him
one likes to
back?
show off unless what they're showing off is dope
It's
as
dope as
Frank.
Well,
dang it. You're right.
It's dope as Dang,
well, they're bringing back John Cena. What's her name? The lady controlling it all. I was just gonna say the black lady, but
Viola
I know it's
Davis.
Yeah, thank you. So she's
Your
like,
only defining characteristic, the black lady in the movie.
well, she didn't really do
Amanda
anything.
Waller?
You guys were like talking about how amazing she was. She just sat there and was like, yes.
I
kill
love when
them.
she's freaking
We didn't
out.
talk about
Are you
how
kidding
amazing
me?
she was. We
She's
just
like,
said that she
turn
was the
around.
villain.
You're off of mission.
just said
Turn
that she was the
around, you
villain.
motherfucker.
That
I
was-
love it. Dude.
That,
She
that
goes
line,
on
that
him.
was the best part. Yeah, when she did that.
Well, dude, watch original Suicide Squad and see how muted Viola Davis can
Oh,
really
that's
be.
right. Yeah, she was like
nothing
stone
happens in
faced.
that movie. Yeah, it's like
Just
you
like the
literally
entire
have Viola
film.
Davis use her
And the
She's
entire
so
film of
great.
Fury.
What?
I'm just giving Cameron a hard time. I'm sorry. I love
Cameron,
Tuesday.
don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
You guys will. Anytime I like a movie that you guys like didn't think was amazing, and I have in my top 100, you guys crucify me until it gets out of my top 100. Then you're like, "Well, Cameron, you could have kept it in."
Yeah, like Project Almanac.
Yeah, but
No,
that one
it
actually
shouldn't-
did.
it shouldn't be in a list.
That one actually did not deserve to be in there.
But isn't that funny though? Because Karen, I still have movies that I like that I know are not good. Don't worry. Like we all have. Those
I don't. All
I
mine
don't.
are
Yeah, my top 100 is perfect.
masterpieces.
Drone's like, pretty much all of my movies are the Criterion Collection. I need my validation to come from other people. Whatever, dude. You don't even like a freaking Dial In for Murder. I don't want to talk to you, man.
Oh man.
Good Hitchcockian, man.
Guys, just Hitchcock is just kind of boring for me. Like I get it. He's a master.
How dare you? How dare you? Dude, you need to see North by Northwest. I don't want to talk to you.
Oh my
until
gosh,
you've seen the
I
movie.
tried watching his other movie. I got through like an hour of it and I still was bored out of my mind. What
Watch
was
North by Northwest.
the other one
It's-
he did? I watched.
Watch Tatiana. Watch with Tatiana, North
Watch
by Northwest. It is the best
Watch Tatiana.
romantic comedy
I did.
espionage film you can watch.
North by Northwest was the one I watched like an hour of, or was that? No, that was what's the one Vertigo. I watched an hour of that and I was like,
That one's definitely slower, but it's still a great movie. Dude, you were messed up in the head.
I am. I couldn't even get through Psycho. I was like, something's wrong with me.
Jordan, you need
But you
to
know
get
what
off
I
this
could get
podcast.
through,
You need to
and
stop talking right now. People are going to stop listening to us.
Oh, I
dude.
know.
Hey, I've heard pretty decent things about Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds. Surprised.
I'm torn. I do
It looks like
Ryan
another
Reynolds.
Detective Pikachu.
Dude, Detective Pikachu was actually a dumpster fire. How did
Yeah, I heard that.
How did you make literally Pikachu like a
Dude,
not?
they have been advertising the shiz out of Free Man. I've seen it everywhere. I'm
it's
like,
called
it's
Free Guy,
obnoxious.
Jordan.
I
Whatever.
literally just said
Free
it 30
Guy.
seconds ago.
It
They've
was
been
so
advertising
dumb.
this movie called Free Man.
About
It's about
freed
12
slave.
years he was a slave.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh,
That would
sorry.
be.
That's
Oh my gosh, I would see that. Ryan Reynolds playing a black man trying to get free,
Oh my god.
or enslaved by black people as a white man. That would be funny. That would be funny
Oh
as
my
shiz.
gosh,
Oh, man.
dude, unreal.
Sorry,
Jordan.
we're getting canceled right now. I love it.
Oh yeah. I love Edgar Wright. In the end, Edgar Wright. Would you guys recommend this movie? Yes.
We already
Hot
said
Fuzz
yes.
is a great movie. Did we already say yes?
You've repeated yourself like 5 times in this podcast.
I just
love
like
it.
going back to Edgar Wright because I want to keep talking about Hot Fuzz. So funny.
Yeah, I
oh, real
noticed.
quick, I have to mention the fence jumping. Okay.
Yeah, they
Wrote that
redo
down
it
in my
like so
notes.
many times in every one of the
In
films.
every Edgar Wright's film, there's this running gag where they jump over a fence, and there's a great scene where he's like, "What's the matter, Danny? You never taken a shortcut before?" And he jumps over all these fences, he like jumps, and then he disappears, and then does a flip over the last fence really tall. And then Nick Frost's character runs up to the fence and just smashes through it. Ow.
I love
So
that
funny.
he considers this a Cornetto trilogy when it's like, I feel like he just wants his other film at World's End The World's End to get noticed. He's like, oh, that one's in it too.
But there literally is Cornetto at the end when he's like at the fence. He's like, oh, he like sees the Cornetto. Like it is, the ice cream is shown in all 3 movies. Just thought you should know. Cornettos, dude.
Because
I'm
he
just
eats
saying,
ice cream in every single one. It's
No, but I mean, like, it's the 3 movies, and they're all spoofs of different genres. Like, they are very
That's true.
clearly
Good
trying
point.
to do a thing. And you're right. I think World's End
well,
is
I mean,
the
but isn't
weakest,
that all of
unfortunately.
Edgar Wright's movies? Like, he should throw Baby Driver in there then too, because
It is, but I don't think it's a parody, though.
it is
it?
of heist movies.
I don't think it's a parody
I think
of
it
heist
is.
movies. I think it's a good... You're right, though, in the sense that you could view it that way. Like, I hope Soho's not like... Last Night in Soho is like a parody of horror movies.
Oh no,
I guess-
it doesn't look like. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yes,
again,
it is more of a heist
yeah.
movie than it is a parody to itself.
It's
but
an enjoyable heist movie. Yeah.
I just
It's
feel
a
like he's
fun
very
heist movie.
self-aware. That's what I should have said.
I like that. Yes, he is one of the most self-aware directors out there.
It's not like a scary movie parody, where it's like literally the movie he is parodying is
it's not a dumpster
a
fire. It's really well done.
ripoff.
Yes. I love it. Jordan, how about you? Movies you've seen?
Yeah. I watched. I think I've said everything I've watched. I've been watching just all these perfect masterpieces. The guys, I'm so sick and tired of movies like. I'm sorry, guys. I finished Loki. Don't care for it.
Dude, the ending was okay. I'm so glad that this came back up
I haven't
because.
watched a single episode besides the first one.
Do you
This is
care
so
to if we
dumb.
spoil it, Cameron?
Yeah, do you care?
Not really.
Okay.
I can't. The guys at work are like, you have to watch it. You have to watch it.
No, yeah. Do you remember what I told you, Jordan? I was like, the first episode I didn't like. The second episode I liked. The third one I didn't like. The fourth one I liked. The finale was like the most disappointing thing I'd ever seen. I'm sorry, that guy thing like, hey, I know what you're gonna do. I'm like, wait, where have I seen this before? Oh yeah, the guy that wrote Loki is one of the writers from Rick and Morty, and I'm like, this is a Rick and Morty sketch. Like,
Yeah.
it's bad. Like,
It felt like a
I know
bad
what you're
Rick and
gonna do
Morty
before
sketch.
you even do it, Morty. Shut up. Like I get it. Like. And he like literally is printing out the papers, like, look, these are all the things you say.
I know. I love how
that guy was so cringeworthy. It hurt.
I feel like we're gonna lose like
watch
all
it.
our fans now, just like ripping on Marvel and Disney. It's so
Dude, I don't give a dude. That movie, that Loki ending was so disappointing. Like, you want to talk about Wizard of Oz? How gratifying it was to find out that the wizard was just some guy that literally
Yes.
showed up. And they tried to do it here, but it's like, no, I'm this omnipotent for. Like, I did not care for him in the least bit. He was so uninteresting. And she did kill him, which I'm really glad that she did. But it kind of felt a little empty still because it was like, she can't trust anyone, and I'm starting to learn to trust people.
I was seriously like, I wanted to feel something for him so bad. I wanted to feel anything, and I just felt nothing for anybody. It was
You know what's weird? I still like the relationship between himself
and himself.
and a female chick
weird.
version because we've all.
I know. I seriously was like, I was hoping they would hook up, and I was like, what's going on? Is this like messed up that I want him to hook up with himself, a female version?
He loves himself, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you think of it that way.
What the
But
fudge?
Oh, whoops.
oh yeah, you only see the first episode. Sorry, Cameron, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Cameron, basically,
he falls
it's
in love
into
with
the
himself.
Spider-Verse. Cameron, it goes into the Spider-Verse. There's multiple versions of Loki, and they all kind of team up different versions of Loki.
I guess
There
we
you go.
wanted this Black Spider-Man. What's his name?
Miles Morales?
We wanted Miles to hook up with that
Gwen?
chick. Yeah, Gwen, because that's
Gwen.
him, right? In another alternate
That's
reality.
not him.
No, it's
That
not
is a-
because
that is a
Miles is,
black-
in
that
the
is a
universe where
black
Peter Parker is
woman.
actually killed. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a black man and a white woman. What
Yeah,
the-
but that's just him in a different reality, right?
No,
Where
Gwen
he's white.
Stacy is not him in a different reality. There's a Miles Morales in that reality, and it's not Gwen Stacy.
I hear what you're saying, Cameron, but no, but literally,
It's
it
not.
is Loki from a different universe.
Okay, yeah, I
But
know.
it is a female version, so at least they had the whole heterosexual thing going. I mean, not that it wouldn't be for Tom Hiddleston making out with some other guy, Tom Hiddleston, Loki, or some other male. Like, I don't care. In the end, it's like,
I'm
if
uncomfortable.
this serves the story, if it makes it interesting, I actually thought that's what was going to happen. I was like, they're going to pull a freaking season 3 Stranger Things right now, and Loki's going to be like, I'm actually gay. And like, of course you are. and he wasn't. And I was like, okay. And then he loves himself. And then they don't learn to trust each other. And then it ends. And it ends with like the lamest cliffhanger where it's like, oh no, like, there's gotta come back for season 2. It's just, I'm sorry, Loki, it was hit and miss. I do like Tom Hiddleston. I want him to keep getting work.
I guess it was a step up from the Captain Falcon Winter Soldier thing or whatever that TV show
I
is
liked
called.
it considerably more than the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. My goodness, what a dumpster.
Falcon and what was it called? Falcon and
the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
But but they end up calling it Captain America and Winter Soldier. Freaking Falcon gets to change his identity, but freaking Winter Soldier, whose character arc is getting away from who he was, he doesn't want to be the Winter Soldier anymore. And they give him his name.
Disney can be all PC. I don't give a fudge anymore because all their movies are garbage now. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of their stuff. Seriously.
We're going to their theme park in like a week, and I'll be like, "You suck!" Oh, Jordan, I have the funniest video to send to you. Guys, look up this Disney animator. He used to work for Disney. He made this hilarious cartoon of Disney. I will send it to you guys.
Wasn't that what
guys.
Shrek is? It's just somebody that got fired from Disney and just making a parody of Disney.
What's his name? What's the guy that does Shrek? Phil.
Mike Myers.
No, what is his name? Now I can't think of his name. Yeah. No, it is
Eddie
a
Murphy?
Mockery of Disneyland. Yeah, but I can't remember his name.
Donkey.
Dunk. So, in the end, this has been Future Hidden Movie Gems. We hate Disney. It's Disney. Go.
Yes, I say, for firing Edgar Wright, screw you guys. And
yeah, screw you for firing. That's why we brought up Disney. Screw you for firing Edgar Wright. Ant-Man was going to be the funniest, coolest movie.
Be a timeless
with
show.
Baby Driver.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you can't take these creative liberties, but we're still going to take the funniest parts that you did, where we have Michael Pena going off and off about this whole plan that was so.
Well, they
Edgar
kept him
Wright.
as a producer, so
Yeah, still, it's just abysmal. And Edgar Wright's like, whatever, dude.
I'm just glad he's
fair,
back to making movies. I'm so glad he's away from the corporations. I think he'll make way better movies.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you have nothing. Like, once he made Baby Driver, it's like, oh, it's a commercial success. It was a critical success, and everyone's like, oh, go see Baby Driver. It's awesome. And now people are like, yeah, I'll go see anything Edgar Wright does, dude. He's making Night in Soho. I'll watch that. If he does get around to making the freaking Running Man, I am down for that, dude.
I'm just surprised he didn't. It's the whole idea, Stanley Kubrick, one for the studio, one for me. Like, I don't know why he didn't just do, like, Aladdin. What was that guy? Guy Ritchie do one for the studio, then he made his movie. What was that one you loved? The Gentleman.
Dude, Gentleman's a masterpiece.
That's what I'm saying. Like, give the studio one and then make your movie.
I remember something happened with, like, Ben Affleck had a Batman script that he really wanted to do, but when he did the Joss Whedon, like, Justice League, Batman, like, Ben Affleck, like, started drinking. I heard it. He started hating himself, and he, like, hated who he was, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, there probably is a point where you're, like, doing work and you're slogging through it and you hate the people you're working with, but it's like, you guys are fetching millionaire actors. Shut the fudge up. I don't want to hear you guys complaining about how hard it was on set. Like,
well,
I love when
not hard,
I heard
but
a comedian, he made me laugh so hard when he talked about Stanley Kubrick and Tom Cruise, where Tom Cruise was like, I had such a hard time on the set. He, like, made my wife, Nicole Kidman at the time, like kissing other guys on set, and it made me feel super uncomfortable. And this one actor was like, good. Like, Tom Cruise has it way too easy. Like, the most famous megastar of all time is like, oh, you had a hard time acting on the set of Stanley
are you talking
Kubrick's
about
film?
Jared saying it's screw
Was
actors?
it Jared?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's why I freaking love Jared, dude. When he said that, that was when I was Team Jared, dude.
Yeah,
all the way.
yeah.
That's why I stopped listening to Show Me the Meaning, dude.
Yeah.
They lost
When
Jared.
they fired him. Dude,
Jared, you're
screw
our
him.
hero. Please come on our podcast. We'll invite you someday. We'll have you on anytime. We'll talk about any movie that you want. We can talk
I
about.
love Jared.
We love you, Jared. We love you. I don't even know your last name, and we love your dog. You're amazing. Yeah, holy cow! How amazing is that? When I started 2 different podcasts, and I stopped both of them once like certain character left.
Oh
It's
yeah.
pretty
No, I
impressive.
stopped. I tried listening to it. It's just not the same.
Abysmal. The only good episode of Culture Binge too. It makes me want to hit my head against the wall when I listen to Culture Binge. I'm sorry. Like, either Culture is dead or your podcast sucks. I'm sorry. You need Jared back. Just saying. Good for him though. He's probably on to bigger and better things. He's like, this is childish. Jared, we love you. Guys, I have not watched anything other than The Suicide Squad. Great. Lots of fun. And, yeah, Future Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Tell us, leave us a review. Tell us a movie that you'd like us to review. Tell us a movie that we reviewed in the past if you have questions. And also, you have movie recommendations. We'd love to take those. Check us out on Spotify, Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, all the different sites. Leave us a 5-star review and tell us about your friends and spread the podcast throughout the earth. We love you guys. Be excellent. Stay good. Stay out of trouble. Keep your nose clean. Amen? I don't know. How do I say? Oh, everybody, this has been Future Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace. Fascist!
Hack.